Right now, somewhere in America, a rusted 1990s pickup truck is sitting in a driveway. The paint is faded, the owner thinks it's worthless. But in 10 years, that same truck could sell at Barrett-Jackson for 6 figures. This has happened before. It will happen again. And the 6 trucks you're about to see are next in line. The problem is, most people have no idea what they're sitting on. They're scrapping them, parting them out, letting them rot. And when the collector market finally wakes up, it'll be too late. So let's talk about the 6 American pickups from the 1990s that everyone ignores today, but that could make you serious money tomorrow. Starting with number 6. The 1993 to 1997 Ford F-250 Heavy Duty with the 7.3-liter Power Stroke diesel. Right now, you can find clean examples for around $8,000 to $12,000. That's it, for a truck that defined an entire generation of American diesel culture. This was Ford's first real answer to Cummins and Duramax, and it came out swinging. The 7.3 Power Stroke wasn't the fastest, it wasn't the quietest, but it was bulletproof, and that matters more than people realize. Because while everyone's chasing the flashy 6.0 and 6.4 Power Strokes, the 7.3 just keeps running. No EGR, no DPF, no computer nightmares, just cast iron, indirect injection, and 500,000 miles without breaking a sweat. But here's the part nobody talks about. The heavy-duty F-250 was built on the old body-style platform, which means it's the last of the square-body Super Duties. And collectors love square bodies. They love simplicity. They love trucks that look like trucks. Right now, the market hasn't caught on, but it will. Because once the clean examples disappear, the prices will explode. And when that happens, you'll wish you bought one for 10 grand. This is where the story takes a turn. Because number 5 isn't just tough, it's rare. And rarity drives value faster than anything else. The 1996 to 1998 Chevrolet CK-1500 with the 454 SS package. Yes, Chevy built a second-generation 454 SS, and almost nobody remembers it. The first-gen 454 SS from 1990 to 1993 gets all the attention. Muscle truck, sport truck, V8 Thunder wrapped in black paint and ground effects. But Chevy didn't stop there. In 1996, they quietly brought back the 454 SS on the new GMT 400 platform. Same idea, different body. And here's the kicker. They only made it for 3 model years. Production numbers were low. Most were used as work trucks. Most are gone. Right now, you can find survivors for around $15,000 to $20,000. That's shockingly cheap for a factory performance pickup with a 7.4-liter big block V8 under the hood. This truck made 290 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. It could tow a house and still bark the tires. But because it came out during the boring mid-90s when sport trucks were fading and SUVs were taking over, nobody paid attention. That's the opportunity, because the first-gen 454 SS is already climbing into the $30,000 to $50,000 range. And when collectors realize the second-gen exists, the prices will follow. This is a blue-chip investment hiding in plain sight. Wait until you see what comes next, because number 4 is where nostalgia meets legend. The 1994 to 1996 Dodge Ram with the Cummins 12-valve diesel. If you know trucks, you already know where this is going. The 12-valve Cummins is the most legendary diesel engine ever bolted into an American pickup, period. It's the engine that made Dodge relevant again. It's the engine that outpolled Ford and Chevy, and it's the engine that refuses to die. Right now, clean examples are selling for around $12,000 to $18,000. But here's the problem. They're disappearing faster than any truck on this list. Rust is killing them. Abuse is killing them. And the ones that survive are being modified into oblivion. Lifted, tuned, deleted, straight-piped, turned into rolling smoke machines. And while modified trucks have their place, collectors don't want them. They want stock, original, unmolested. And those are almost impossible to find. The 12-valve Cummins made 160 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque from the factory. That doesn't sound like much, but with a few tweaks, it could hit 300 horsepower without breaking a sweat. This was the engine that started the diesel performance movement, the engine that launched 1,000 aftermarket companies. And when the collector market finally realizes how few clean examples are left, the prices will explode. And when that happens, you'll wish you bought one for 10 grand. Because number 3 is a truck that almost nobody outside the off-road world even knows exists. The 1992 to 1996 Ford Bronco with the Eddie Bauer or XLT trim package. Now, before you say it, yes, the Bronco is technically an SUV, but it's built on the F-150 platform. It has a truck frame, truck suspension, truck DNA, and it deserves a spot on this list. Right now, clean examples are selling for around $10,000 to $15,000. That's absurdly cheap for what could become the next vintage Ford icon. Because here's what's happening. The early Broncos from the 60s and 70s are already six-figure trucks. The 1987 to 1991 Broncos are climbing fast, and the 1992 to 1996 models are the last of the full-size Broncos before Ford killed the nameplate in 1996. That makes them historically significant, emotionally significant, and incredibly undervalued. These trucks came with the 5.0 or 5.8-liter V8. They had real four-wheel drive systems, removable tops on some models, and they were everywhere in the 90s, until they weren't, because Ford replaced them with the Expedition, and the Bronco died. But nostalgia doesn't die, and right now Ford is bringing back the Bronco nameplate, which means people are remembering what the original was all about, and when they do, they're going to want the last generation, the cleanest survivors, the ones with original paint and unmolested interiors, and those are running out. Almost nobody saw this coming.
But number 2 is a truck that insiders have been whispering about for years. The 1991 to 1993 GMC Syclone, and its pickup sibling, the 1992 to 1993 Typhoon. Yes, these are technically performance SUVs and sport trucks, but they're GMC Sonomas under the skin, and they're about to explode in value. Right now, clean Cyclones are selling for around $25,000 to $40,000. That sounds expensive until you realize what you're getting. The GMC Syclone was the fastest production truck in the world when it launched in 1991. It hit 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, faster than a Ferrari 348, faster than a Corvette, and it did it with a turbocharged 4.3-liter V6, making 280 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. All-wheel drive, limited-slip differential, sport-tuned suspension. This wasn't a work truck, it was a weapon. And GMC only built around 3,000 of them. The Typhoon, which came a year later, was even rarer. Same engine, same performance, SUV body. And collectors are starting to notice, because 90s performance vehicles are white-hot right now. Supras, RX-7s, NSXs, and the Cyclone is the American muscle truck equivalent. It's rare, it's fast, and it's still relatively affordable compared to where it's headed. But the window is closing, because once these hit the $40,000 to $60,000 range, most enthusiasts will be priced out forever. This is where the story ends, and where regret begins. Because number 1 is a truck that could define the next decade of collector demand, the 1999 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning. Right now, you can find clean examples for around $18,000 to $30,000. That won't last, because the second-generation Lightning is everything the 90s promised and delivered. It had a supercharged 5.4-liter Triton V8 making 360 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. It could hit 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds. It had lowered suspension, performance-tuned shocks, and aggressive styling that screamed speed. And it was the last true performance truck Ford built before the world went soft. This was a truck that could haul your tools on Monday and embarrass Mustangs on Friday. And Ford only made the 1999 model for 1 year before redesigning it in 2000. That makes the 1999 Lightning a transitional truck, the bridge between the first gen and second gen. And collectors love transitional models. They love limited runs, they love factory performance, and they love V8 thunder. Right now, the Lightning is still seen as a used performance truck, something you buy to modify, to beat on, to run into the ground. But that's changing because the clean stock examples are vanishing, and once they're gone, the prices will follow the same path as the Mustang SVT Cobra, the Viper, and every other 90s performance icon that people ignored until it was too late. The 1999 Lightning is the last affordable American performance truck from the golden age, and in 10 years, when it's selling for $70,000 or $80,000 at auction, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember when you could have bought one for 20 grand, and you'll wonder why you didn't pull the trigger. Because the clock is ticking, the trucks are rusting, and the future is closer than you think.